$38 per lead. That's what one of our accounts is running at. A client of mine, a remodeling and home services company, had $338 every time someone filled out the form. That's a number that ends businesses. 2 days later, with our client acquisition system, it was $25.87. And we didn't change the ad, we didn't change the targeting, we didn't change the budget. The creative that would have killed the first was actually the healthiest part of the whole thing. And the leak was somewhere else entirely. And you can only see it if you know which 5 numbers to look at and in what order. And that's the whole video. 5 numbers in order, broken down, that can tell you what's broken in your ads. So let's get started. Quick, but who am I? My name's Conrad, the founder of CT Media, and we build ad systems and client acquisition systems specifically for remodelers. And that's the whole business. So everything here is from real account data, current research, what sounds good, not what just sounds good in a blog post, but what actually works in reality. And I'm going to be straight with you about something. I'm not going to give you industry benchmarks about cost per lead numbers in this video, and here is why. I went and pulled basically every published figure for cost per lead from contractors that I could find. And they range from $34 to $250 on average. And almost none of them cite a source. So basically, looking that up is going to be a waste of your time. So I'm using our own account numbers while keeping our client anonymous. So it's real account, real dollars, and I'll show you the sequence. So here's the frame for the whole video, what we're going to go over, right? An ad account is a chain with 5 links. Money leaks directly if you don't know which forms to look at and which forms not to look at, right? So your whole job is, when you're looking at an ad account, is to find the leak. Basically, most people just blow up the entire chain, but there's actually a lot of healthy parts in your ad account. You just have to know where to look and know where to find them. So many people don't learn anything because they just kill an ad fully. So I'm going to teach you how to do it. Let's go. Number 1 thing you're going to look at first is the delivery. Is the ad even getting in front of people? This sounds so basic, and it sounds really basic that not many people would check it. But check it anyway, because what I'm looking at right now, I see an ad set that on accounts that I sometimes have that technically are active, but aren't delivered. So what you're looking at is impressions, reach, and frequency. So when you're seeing this delivery, right, impressions is how many times an ad was shown, reach is how many actual humans saw it, and frequency is divided by impressions by reach. So how many times an average person saw that ad. And this is where you can see the failure mode, right? 1, if you're barely spending. You know, if your ads are on, but Facebook is delivering almost nothing because the audience might be too small and the campaign is stuck in learning. So if you're a remodeler in a 30-mile radius, your audience might be small depending on what your market is, and that is fine. That just means you have to take an extra look at frequency, right? Second, frequency is climbing past 3 or 4 in a short window. That window meaning maybe 7 days. The same people are going to be seeing your ad over and over and over, and it's actually the reason why your leads are going to be drying up. Week 3, your cost is going to be going straight up the roof while your leads aren't. Not because the market is tired of remodeling, it's because like 11,000 people have seen the same kitchen photo of yours 6 times. That's not going to work, right? So if delivery is broken, nothing downstream matters. So this is the first thing to fix. Number 2, go. Number 2, hook rate. This is the first 3 seconds. So hook rate is basically 3-second video views divided by impressions. If you're running a video ad, this is the single most honest number in your account. It tells you whether basically the thumb of the scroll stopped and watched the video. On that client's ad account, the hook rate was about 31% that I was talking about previously. Roughly 1 in 3 people who got shown the ad stopped and watched. That is insane. That is a crazy good hook rate. That is super important, and that's the whole reason why this story is worth telling. Because when your cost per lead is $338, every instinct in my body was telling me to kill the ad, blame the creative, right? But you have to blame not the market, you have to blame something else. And we're going to get into that later in the video. However, the hook rate was 31% the entire time. The ad was doing its job perfectly, while the account basically just burned money. If we trusted our gut instinct instead of the number, we would have thrown away the one thing that was actually working, and we would have started from basically zero. And that's the lesson of this video. As you go through this video and continue, you need to know that there is more than just the individual metrics, right? If your hook rate is if it's under 15 to 10%, then yes, you need to go fix the creative, right? Go fix it, because the first 3 seconds are crucial. But check before to swing. If it's above 10 to 15% and you're comfortable with it, then that's fine. Number 3 is click-through rate. Of the people who saw it, how many tapped on your form or your link? And this is basically the gap between interest and intent. Someone can watch your whole entire video, think your work is beautiful, and never move a finger. And that is ad that basically just entertains somebody, doesn't sell somebody. When your hook rate's strong and click-through rate is weak, the problem is almost the same thing. The ad never told them what to do or why, right? There's no CTA. There's no good offer. You might have great footage of a finished kitchen, but there's no offer or no reason to act today. The homeowner just enjoys the quick dopamine and scrolls. The other version possibly is a mismatch. The ad says one thing, but the button says another, right? If the ad the whole time is about a home remodel and the button says get a free quote on your bathroom, that confusion will cost you clicks that you'll never see in a report. And you actually have to look at your own ad or see it in your own feed the way a stranger would. So on that account that I was mentioning previously, the clicks were fine. People were just watching and tapping, which made the number seem ugly. And I'll go into why it did. Cut. Go. Number 4 is click to lead. Of the people who actually clicked, how many are finishing the form? And this is the one that almost nobody looks at. And this is where the $338 mistake was high, right? On that account, clicks to leads was 3 to 4%. So think about that. That means in the real world, 100 homeowners saw the ad and liked it enough to stop, and 3 of them finished. 93% raised their hand. I want to do this. I want a free estimate. And only 3 walked in the door. Then 97 of them left. You are paying for all 100 of those clicks. Every one of them costs money, and the ad account does not care that it didn't finish. So what we did is we rebuilt the form. And what we changed is actually kind of embarrassing. So before, it was asking way too many questions. We had 7 questions there. Why? Our client really wanted quality leads. But we were overdoing it, right? So now what do we have? All we have are 2 questions, high intent, plus their name. You know what that still does? The lead quality is even better right now because we gave Meta more volume to track, which is very important. So the click rate, the click to lead went from around 3 to 4% all the way up to 28%. We 7x'd their click to lead rate. Now I want to just sit on that for a second because it's the point of the entire video before we continue. The ad account looked like there was an advertising problem, creative, something like that. It wasn't that. It was literally a 30-second fix that it was a stretch of period of time when a lead sees your form and needs to fill it out, right? So if you take one thing from this video and before you continue is just go look at your form real quickly. Go on your phone and right now pretend that you were a 7-year-old trying to, mid-thought, click through your form. And you can kind of see through your ad, if you look at the views from a 7-year-old, how is it? It needs to be easy, right? It needs to be so a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old can understand your ad, your form, and do it. And since you're right here, if you wanted someone to go through your actual full system, see where the gaps are, read the data like an expert, and also build out a full done-for-you client acquisition system using ads, lead form, and follow-up within the first 5 minutes, I do a done-for-you ad system, client acquisition system, only for remodelers. But you have to act quick because we only have 1 person per market. That's it. We don't take any other clients. However, I'll continue. So number 5, the 5th number to look at, is lead to book to walk through. right? This is the one that lives outside the ad account. This is a data metric that not many people can see, and it's not it's not measured often. So basically, of how many people filled out that form, how many ended up with you basically standing in their kitchen with a tape measure starting to work, right? How many of people who clicked that form you're now serving? When this number is bad, there is 3 causes, and they're super easy to tell apart. So one is speed. The lead came in on Tuesday night, and somebody called on Friday. I did a whole video on that. However, in the short version, homeowners spend the better part of a year planning, and they expect an answer now. So you need to have speed to lead. You need to be contacting a lead within 5 minutes of them filling out a form. 2, the form is attracting wrong people, right? This is real, and it's basically the one that can make a cheap lead worse than an expensive one. Because if your ad promises the lowest price, then you get the lowest price homeowner. And that is basically cheap. It's not a win. It's a subscription to get tire kickers. That's why I suggest never mention price in your ads. And then 3, there's no one following up more than twice. I always say this, right? You want to always double dial because they filled out your form. They need your help. If someone said they can help you out with a huge issue that you had, I would want them to call twice, right? So do they. So that's what I would suggest. And basically, everything I walk through goes to one final number, and it's what you should be judging on. What does a booked, signed job cost you in ad spend? That's something you need to track. Because if you're not tracking your numbers, and if you're not tracking data inside Facebook and outside Facebook, at the end of the day, what are you doing, right? What are you tracking? Because you need to put real numbers. So say your average job is $30,000, right? At roughly 30% gross margin. So that's about $9,000 of gross profit per job. 5 to 10% of that $30,000 basically is $1,500 to $3,000 of acquisition cost. That's going to be like your ceiling, right? So if you have a $30,000 job and it costs you $3,000 to acquire a client, a CAC of $3,000, that is perfect. That is kind of where you want to be. So that is those numbers. And if you want more data, more videos or walkthroughs just like this, and if you want actual count numbers instead of theory, then me telling you these data numbers are extremely important. So subscribe. We drop a video every Thursday. If you're running Facebook ads right now for your modeling company, or you want to start running Facebook ads and you need to learn more, this channel is going to be for you. And you generally don't know what your problem is, you can also book a free call in the description below. We walk through everything, and I want to make sure you just leave with something, right? So book a free call, no pressure. It's a full strategy walkthrough. We walk through exactly how everything works. The link's below, and I'll see you next Thursday.